Wednesday night in the South Bay, and boy, do we ever have a South Bay battle for you here on NBC Sports Bay Area. The San Jose State Spartans playing host to the Santa Clara Broncos at the Provident Credit Union Event Center. Hello, everybody. Welcome to San Jose. Dave Benz alongside the coach, Ben Braun. And Coach, this one should be a lot of fun. Nationally, maybe this isn't a game a lot of people are paying attention to, but here in the Bay Area, these are schools that are separated by just 4 miles.
Well, that's amazing, Dave, because you think about it, the players know each other. They probably get together during the summer, have open gym, play together. Their fans can get there, and alumni know each other. So I think it's special when you have teams that are this close in proximity to continue the tradition of playing one another.
It's the 114th meeting all time. Most of the people here tonight were not around for many of those. And it's been a battle that has been dominated mostly by Santa Clara, as they've won 82 of the previous meetings, going all the way back to 1910. But all that these coaches care about is that they played each other. Their teams have played each other. Now this will be the 3rd time Herb Sendek is facing off against Tim Miles. And this time around, Santa Clara's got the guy that is capable of taking over the game, Coach. And we're talking about Adama Alpha Ball. He is special.
Well, he's special. He's so active. Spoke with Herb Sendek yesterday. He loves what he can do. Obviously he scores about 16 a game. He can get on the glass, really climb the glass, but how about his ability to shoot the 3? Knocks down over 40% of his 3-point opportunities. And guess what? You foul him, mistake. He hits about 90% from the free throw line. So he's the all-purpose player for the Santa Clara Broncos.
42 of 47 to be exact, 89% for him on the free throw line this season. The guy who's going to really have to match up with him tonight in a lot of ways is MJ Amy for San Jose State. They're going to require him not only to score, but also to defend here tonight.
Well, I like MJ because he brings some intangibles to the table. Obviously, he can score at 14 a game. He can get on the glass. He does knock down his threes. Hits his free throws at a high clip. But what I like is he takes care of the basketball. He's a guy that can really distribute, but he also gets a little under 2 steals a game. So that kind of defensive pressure could really pay off when you're playing against a player like Adama Alpha Ball.
And you know that they are going to be fired up. This is their last game on their home floor for 2023. They won't play again until January 2nd, and they will start off 2024 on the road against Wyoming as they'll go into conference play. So they're fired up. Not a lot of students here tonight, though, because the school is officially on break now, and there may be some Santa Clara fans in the house because it's not that far to travel for a road game.
No, and it's raining cats and dogs. As you know, it doesn't happen that often in the Bay Area, but again, I love the matchup. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I also think it's something that if you think about it, Santa Clara is playing really good basketball right now, but San Jose State's played well at home. They have a really good home record, so I think something's got to give tonight, but I like this matchup. I like the emotion of it, and I think we're going to have a good basketball game.
They had been unbeaten on this floor until this past weekend when they lost to Montana, and San Jose State was shorthanded in that game. They're going to be shorthanded again tonight, and that's a bit of a problem for them. They were out-rebounded against Montana 44-24 on the glass.
Dave, that as a coach, we talked about that, Tim Miles and I, and you just got to throw that out. You know that's not who your team's identity is, but you certainly bring it up to your team in practice and say, look, guys, if we can climb the glass, we have a chance. But you got to be better than that on the glass. So I really like our opportunities. Tim Miles coming over to give me a fist bump. It's always good to see him, especially when I'm not coaching against him. But
love his exuberance, and I know you have a relationship with Herb going back quite a ways as well. And I talked to Herb for the first time yesterday. He was a little bit more reserved, but still had some good quips.
Now we go back about 30 years with Herb. We coached in the Mid-American Conference together. Used to face each other a ton. Eastern Michigan, Miami University, and then also coached against Herb when I was at Cal and he was at Arizona State. And boy, did we have some battles. And then I had the fortune or misfortune, depending on how you look at it, to face Herb in the NCAA tournament at North Carolina State. Got him the first time. He got us the second. So
San Jose State controls the opening tip, Coach. Amy, Davis, Cardenas, Gorner, and Humer, the 5 on the floor for the Spartans to start this one. Napper, Ball, Marshall, O'Neal, and Cafaro, the 5 for Santa Clara. Latrell Davis drives, and Davis able to draw an early foul. He'll get a chance to go to the free throw line. had a chance to chat with that young man at shoot-around today, and originally from the UK, came to the United States to play high school basketball in Florida, and he really has shown that his quickness is going to be a problem for a lot of teams that play against him. He was an elite sprinter in high school, 100, 200, was also great at the high jump, or the long jump and the triple jump. And he's got explosiveness, Coach.
He's got a lot of ability, and Tim Miles and his staff not afraid to go overseas and do some recruiting. Their squad stacked with players from overseas.
Well, neither is Santa Clara. They've also scouted internationally. There's one of their guys, Cafaro, although Cafaro played at Virginia under Tony Bennett, was a redshirt player on that 2019 national championship team, comes up with a rebound here. And then Cafaro up off the glass and in, and an and one opportunity for Cafaro.
Well, that's really a tough break because I thought San Jose State was playing very good defense, but you're not playing great defense if you don't finish the job, and that's what Tim Miles and his staff was talking about today. If they can finish the job with a rebound, they're going the other way. So very important for them early to establish position and keep Santa Clara, which is tough to do off the glass.
The Broncos' size is going to be a problem, not only for San Jose State here tonight, but for a lot of teams. The Broncos are one of only 10 schools that have multiple 7-footers on the roster, and they have 3 of them, although one of them, Christoph Tilley, is out tonight with an undisclosed injury, but he's missing his 2nd straight game.
Well, they've got size, and they're not afraid to get on the glass. But you got to pay attention. San Jose State's a very scrappy team, but they just have to do a better job defensively, and that's a big, tall order against this much bigger Santa Clara ball club.
Second chance bucket for Davis. He has all of the Spartans' points early on. Ball has it poked away, and here come the Spartans. Davis has Gorner, the bounce pass in the lane, and the finish.
Well, you can see what San Jose State can do if they can defend, rebound, and get some steals. They're good in transition.
3 is away from Marshall, and Marshall able to drill it, and that's a sight for sore eyes for Herb Sendek, because Marshall just 1 of 9 from downtown over his last 3 games.
Well, shoot or shoot, Dave, and it was only so many times that he's going to be shut down.
Amy calls his own number. That won't fall. The Spartans lead the Mountain West Conference in made threes per game this season at just under 9 per contest. Marshall into the paint, no good. Offensive rebound and a second chance opportunity here for the Broncos, and we're going to get a foul on Humer.
Dave, so far I like the aggressiveness of San Jose. They can't afford to play lackadaisical defensively. If you notice, they're really getting their hands up. They're playing aggressive basketball, and that's okay. You're going to pick up some fouls, but I'd rather pick up some fouls by playing aggressively than play passively. As a coach, you don't mind aggressive fouls.
Well, Humer's going to take a seat.
Santa Clara's got an array of out-of-bounds underplays, and I know them well, having coached against Herb Sendek.
Although, you know what's interesting, Coach? I was looking at some of the analytics on Santa Clara, and a second chance bucket by Marshall is good. Their ATO situation this year, they're only scoring about 20% of the time on ATOs. I was going to bring that up to Herb, and I'm like, I'm going to let that one go.
No, I would too.
I'm sure that's probably going to correct itself.
No, it will. Just give it time. But they just missed a dunk. That was a hell of an out-of-bounds play.
Davis drives and finishes, and what a hot start for Latrell Davis here tonight.
A great quickness to the glass. Just puts it down and gets it up off the glass in a hurry.
3 on the wing, no good, and the rebound controlled by Zhang. Zhang did not play in the game this past weekend for San Jose State in the loss to Montana as he was ill, but they're happy to have him back. He had some length. The 3 by Marshall, no good. Long rebound by Gorner.
Both teams really aggressive in transition, shooting a lot of threes. You know, you say, well, why do they take a lot of threes in transition? Because the defense is not set up. That's actually these are good shots.
Wipe off the bucket as the foul is before he goes into the move.
That's interesting, Dave. That's changed over the years. You know, coaches used to say, hey, let's come down, let's work for some good shots. If you can beat teams down the floor defensively and you can get them before they set their defense, the three-point shot not only is a good shot because you're open in transition, but you have advantages on the offensive glass because there's no box-out responsibilities.
The foul was on Tongue, his first, second of the game against the Broncos. Cardenas, the feed inside and a travel as Zhang didn't put it on the deck before he shuffled the feet. That was an easy call. Your officiating crew here tonight, by the way, Tony Padilla, your crew chief, Greg Nixon and DG Nelson working along with him.
Familiar names for me.
Yeah, you've got a great Tony Padilla story.
Well, he told you the story. Yeah. I didn't have to tell it. And it's true.
The conversations between officials and coaches, I never fail to be entertained by some of those. Shot clock down to 7 here for the Broncos. They'll get the 3 away, and it rattles home for Marshall.
That's so tough when you're coaching and as a team. You play such good defense, and then at the end of the shot clock, you get nailed with a shot. But these teams are very patient. They'll run good offense. The ball's moving.
The offensive foul here is going to go on Zhang, so it's a couple of trips down the floor for Zhang that he'd like to have back. The turnover on the travel and the turnover on the offensive foul. And that's going to take us to the under 16 timeout here. So early on here in the South Bay, these teams separated by 4 miles, and right now separated by 2 points here at Provident Credit Union Event Center. Back here in San Jose, the Spartans, powered by Latrell Davis, hanging with the Broncos right now. Each of these teams, last 2 years, they've won on the opposition's court.
And that's unusual. You'd think in a rivalry that the home court would give you advantage. You know, I can guarantee you, Dave, you talk about timeouts right now. Santa Clara's off to a pretty good start, but Tim Miles and his staff got to be concerned about the offensive glass. They've given up 4 offensive rebounds before the first timeout. That's a lot.
Well, it doesn't help that one of your bigs already has 2 fouls, is William Humer. The reason he checked out early is he picked up 2 quick ones. So.
Right, so you're going to have to really challenge yourself now to just really, and sometimes the guards got to help out. It's not just the big guys. Guards got to go in and seal off and secure defensive rebounds as well.
We talked about Ball at the top of the broadcast. He's yet to take a shot tonight. So far, it's been mostly Marshall carrying the offensive load. Ball knocked away. Great hands there to take away the ball by Gorner.
So that's part of good defense. Not only do you move your feet, but you have quick hands. You get them in the passing lanes.
Cardenas throws it up, and Zhang throws it down. All right.
Redeemed. He's back. That's how you correct mistakes, Dave. You go up and you make it up on the other end.
Get that bad taste out of your mouth.
Oh, quickly as possible. I'm really impressed with San Jose State's aggressiveness so far.
Into the corner, first shot attempt of the game for Ball, won't drop. Or excuse me, that's Tyree Bryan that took that. Now Bryan to the free throw line, hits the cutting Marshall. Nice job of walling up by the Spartans, and then Zhang, he came and he had the ball and then he gave it up, and then makes matters worse by it becoming an and one.
Well, the tough thing there, Dave, is just cardinal rule. You never tip the ball in the defensive end. If you can put 2 hands on the ball and then he tips it at the end, kind of just doesn't grab it with 2. Offensively, on the offensive end, you can use 1 hand. On the defensive end, you must put 2 on it.
And credit Marshall, he didn't give up on the play either. He knocked it out of the hands of Zhang right into Tongue, and Tongue does the rest. Can't complete the 3-point play.
No, but that's it's going to be a challenge for San Jose State. They're going to have to get up and really secure defensive rebounds.
Foul was on Gorner, by the way. 14 fouls on San Jose State. Amy kicks it out for Cardenas. The drive and the finish off the glass.
Well, I like the way he met the ball on the pass. Really effective. You don't wait for the pass. You catch it on the go. And that's how he got to the rim.
There's Ball getting his first shot finally, and he knocks it down.
As advertised.
Well, Ball has really been on an impressive run. Season high 25 points a couple of games ago. And he's a guy that a lot of people feel like can follow in that cycle that Herb Sendek has going with sending guys to the NBA.
Well, about Brandon, this guard from last year, Bajemski. I mean, what a great year he's having, and people are surprised. I spoke with Mike Dunleavy, who was at the game recently, and he just was singing his praises. I gave Mike a little bit of a stick there because he recruited him from back in Wisconsin days. But, you know, general managers are paid to know what they're doing, and that was a really good get for the Golden State Warriors.
The 19th pick of the draft, and I know a lot of people here locally were probably like, wait, they took a kid out of Santa Clara? But guess what? Bajimski can ball a little bit.
Let me say this. He just took the charge to win the game for him against the other day. At the very end of the game, came down to the last possession, and he takes the charge, secures a win. So he's a gamer, and he had a heck of a career for Santa Clara and Herb Sendek.
Substitutions here for the Broncos. Wholesale substitutions. They're going to get Cafaro back on the floor. Tyree Bryan stays out there. Cozy Akamedu checks in for the first time tonight. There's Cozy. Cafaro uses his size to his advantage and spins to the left and lays it up and in with a feathery touch.
Now, Cafaro, what he can do is he can use his body, but he always ends up going middle. And the coaching staff, San Jose State, said, hey, force him back to the baseline. Don't let him turn the shoulder to the middle. And you can see why. He's effective that way.
Corner doesn't hesitate on the drive. Reach and foul here.
Tim Miles saying, hey, don't blow the whistle. You took away a basket. It's funny when you're officiating and when you're coaching, you always want every edge you can get. We talked about that with the officials before the game. But I like, the aggressiveness of San Jose. They're trying to get to the rim with their driving ability.
Foul on O'Neal was his first. He'll check out. Third team foul on the Broncos. Cardenas into the paint. Can't get it to go. Knocked out of bounds. Last touched by the Broncos. Number 21. Tim Miles not liking what he was seeing in terms of the size underneath, and says, you know what? I'm going to put Humor back in with the 2 fouls. I don't want this game getting away from me. Let's see if Humor can avoid picking up that third here.
Well, that's a lot of trust you're putting in your player, and you know, sometimes you got to go with your best player, especially when you're shorthanded. You might say don't, but you don't want the game to get away from you.
Humor back to Cardenas. Spins his way in, rattles out. And here come the Broncos looking to add to this lead. Little scoop pass inside for Cafaro, but he can't hold on to the basketball. Spartans come out of there with it. Amy Jr., the drive, and I believe they're going to say the foul was before he went into the shot.
And Tim's saying, give that guy a break. He was going to get a layup.
If this was the NBA, he'd be going to the line for an and one.
And you know that better than anybody. That's continuation, and Tim's trying to, you know, he's trying to sell it.
You don't get that one in the college game.
No, not yet. Maybe the best players do. You know, you never know. But, you know, again, San Jose State really aggressive coming off screens. Bottoms.
So Amy will just get 3, the outside the arc variety.
That means the ball doesn't lie.
It rarely does.
Nope.
Ansminger. Bryan shot a little bit too strong, and Amy comes out of there with the rebounds.
Well, that's what San Jose State's got to do, Dave. They've got to go, and whatever way necessary, just go secure rebounds with their guards.
Spartans can get it back to 1 with a 2 and get it back to even with a 3. And Amy gets it back to a 1-point game.
Really smart move.
Oh, Cozy loses the basketball. Here come the Spartans. Chance to go in front. Out of the corner, the 3 from corner is good.
Well, I like that.
And Sendek is going to call a timeout. And how about MJ Amy? I think he's more thrilled Corner hit the 3 than he is. He's happy to get the dime.
Well, a great look. You know, he gets it in transition. You can see he's not afraid. His ball doesn't stick. You know, he kicks it ahead, and he knows his personnel, and that's just good basketball. He had just scored the last couple of baskets, but he makes it happen for his teammate.
Spartans back in front, 2-point game midway through this first half. Well, San Jose State taking advantage of Santa Clara turnovers. Coach, I know this probably drove you wild when you were on the sidelines. You don't want to give up live ball turnovers. Those are killers. And San Jose State right now, 9 points off 4 Santa Clara turnovers.
Well, exactly. And Santa Clara, you know, it's been their Achilles when they've struggled this year. Herb Sundek and I talked at length yesterday, and he said, look, if we take care of the basketball, we're going to be okay. I mean, we just can't give in. And he said, and again, there are good turnovers and there are bad turnovers.
Broncos are 7-0 when they don't turn it over more than the other team. If they win the turnover battle or at least tied, they're 7-0. They're 1-4 when they turn it over more than the opponent.
Case closed. If that doesn't sell something to your players, I don't know what does, but that's perfection when they take care of the basketball.
And listen, if you're a talented enough team, you know, like the Warriors in their prime, you can lose the turnover battle and still win a game by a lot. But when you're in tight games, you need to take advantage of it. Out of timeout, though, you'll take a 3 certainly to tie the game back up.
Well, the other thing is San Jose State is not a pressing team, so you should not be turning the ball over against the Spartans.
3 to answer, no good by Gorner, and here come the Broncos. Napper sees an opening and can't get it to go off the glass. Cardenas, now Anderson. Spartans are without Trey Anderson tonight. They're hoping to get him back. Ryan Perry, torn Achilles, done for the season. Robert Viola, they already announced, is done for the season. Floater by MJ Amy, though, who's just getting warmed up for the season.
Dave, he's feeling it, and he's getting the freedom to take shots, pull-up shots, three-point shots, drives.
He's got 7 points for San Jose State. Marshall, meantime, has been the story for Santa Clara. He's got 14 now in the game.
Well, and MJ Amy's really upset with himself because he went for the steal, didn't get it, and then gave up the 3.
Amy, a little flutter. When he released that, I thought that was going to be an alley-oop pass, but that was a shot the whole way.
How about with his left hand? I mean, that's ambo. That's ambidextrous when you can go both ways, but he's really effective getting in the paint and working on the floater. He's making it count.
Marshall, this time trying to do it from inside the paint, no good. Amy comes down with the rebounds.
The guard's doing a better job now for San Jose State.
Cardenas gets tripped up as he drives to the bucket. That'll be the 5th foul of the half on Santa Clara. San Jose State also has 5, so each team with 1 more foul to give.
Well, that was a pretty obvious call right there.
Yeah, Ensminger trips him up.
Might have saved the basket, though, so.
Well, that's a good use of a foul. Zhang back on for San Jose State. Cardenas. And now the drive by Gorner leaves it short. And 1 and done for the Spartans. They can't get an offensive rebound.
Now you can see that he was affected by the height. He just hurried his shot. He had a clear path to the rim.
Marshall, who's been the story tonight for Santa Clara, gives it up for Napper. Now Ensminger will try a 3. And we'll get a loose ball foul. And they're going to call it on Tongue here. San Jose State came down with the rebound anyway, but still the foul going against Tongue. Excuse me, they're calling it on Ball.
Yeah, here it is.
Okay, so there's a few fouls there, Coach. They called a double foul.
Yeah.
And then Ball is well involved there. So Zhang and Tongue, the double fouls. Tongue now has 2 in the game.
Well, I think that was the right call. As you looked at the replay, both guys were guilty.
Zhang. Okay, so the PA announcer said Ball, but he got confused. Zhang was the double foul. That's what we saw. Turnover. And it's going to be a chance at the free throw line as he can't get the bucket to go. But that would have been another opportunity to get points off turnovers. They still can't get points off the turnovers at the line.
No, you know, again, it's just the quickness. You can see how effective San Jose State is, and Amy especially, in transition. They love to get the ball off the glass on either a clean rebound, a steal, or maybe a long three-point shot. They're in a hurry coming this way, and if you're Santa Clara, you better get back on defense.
Davis misses the first.
Number 14, Johnny O'Neal back in the Bronco lineup. Number 23, DJ Six back in the Spartan lineup for Donald John.
Davis scored 6 of the first 8 points for the Spartans tonight. Gets his 7th point there.
Now, most of these turnovers, Dave, are coming on this end just with quick hands. They're not steals. They're just really pesky and getting their hands up. They do a very good job. Jeff Strom, the assistant, really works hard on the defensive end coaching for Tim Miles, and they really work hard on pressuring and putting hands up and deflecting passes. They challenge everything.
Marshall for Cafaro. And they're going to call the offensive foul. How about the job by Cardenas setting up camp and drawing the charge?
Love it. That's really great team defense because that just took away a basket. And if you're San Jose State, you better be really happy with this. Watch this, the plant, and there he is, nowhere to go, takes the charge, boom.
If you don't have the size advantage, that is one way to be able to try to negate it. So that takes us to the under 8 timeout. We'll step aside. Good one going here in the South Bay. Just a 2-point game midway through this first half.
All right, fans. And down to the court, we have Michael.
Well, San Jose State trying to beat Santa Clara on their home floor, which has certainly not been easy. Santa Clara's dominated this series historically. Tim Miles, this is his second crack at trying to beat Santa Clara on the home floor. Their one win did come last year under Tim Miles. Miles, though, his team, we mentioned it, they're playing short-handed here tonight, Coach. Is Robert Viola done for the season? Ryan Perry, who is one of the most scrappy players that Tim Miles has at his disposal, he's out. And you got Trey Anderson, who is out tonight as well, missing his 3rd straight game.
Well, it's tough as it is. You can't feel sorry for yourself, and Tim Miles is no stranger to adversity. He did a heck of a job last year, winning 20-plus, best record in 40 years here. But, you know, this was supposed to be a year where they were supposed to build on it. Right now, they're really challenged, but they're battling. I'm impressed.
Deep three, no good. Rattles out, rebound by Cafaro. Ball, who really hasn't been looking to score so far tonight. Dished it out there. They work it around to O'Neal. He'll try the three, a little bit too strong. And the rebound pulled down by Davis. Amy, top of the key. And Seixas gets it to go.
That's pretty good floor spacing. They spaced the floor. The ball didn't stick. It went sideline to sideline. And a wide open three from the top.
The freshman from Portugal. Marshall looking to answer, and Marshall has just matched his season high with his 4th made 3 in a game, and we still got quite a ways to go here in this first half.
Santa Clara as a team just shoots the 3 the heck out of it. They're shooting over 50% right now from the 3, so you can see why San Jose's got to get out and defend the 3-point line.
Seixas trying to get it to Anderson underneath, turns it over. Just the 3rd giveaway tonight by the Spartans. They only turned it over 5 times the other night against Montana. That was one of the ways they stayed in the game. They had such a huge disparity on the glass and at the free throw line, but they didn't give up the basketball.
No, they were usually a pretty good ball security team. And you know, and again, Herb Sendek, when his team takes care of the ball, they're perfect. So you know how important it is to take care of the basketball. You give your team extra possessions. You don't fuel any runs.
Corner 3 by O'Neal, no good. And here comes the Spartans trying to add to this modest 1-point lead. Cardenas. Amy will put it on the deck. Kick into the corner for an open Davis, and he'll drill the corner three.
Again, great ball movement by the Spartans. They go sideline to sideline, make Herb Sendek's defense stretch, which they did, and they gave up the three.
3 of 9 from downtown for the Spartans so far here tonight. Ball couldn't get the first try to go, but the offensive rebound back up and good by McElden.
They're doing a great job on the glass. When Santa Clara doesn't score, they really pound the glass.
Anderson fires a three. He knew that was good the second he released it.
He was running the other direction. He let it fly, and he said, I got this. And he went back with his hand raised like that's good.
Garrett Anderson, that's only his second made three. He was 1 of 10 on the season going into that.
Yeah, no problem.
Marshall nearly coughs it up, and then a travel is called against Marshall. And that's a good call, Coach, because he lost the basketball, moved his feet, and picked it back up.
Yeah, very, very good call. You know, again, the defensive pressure by San Jose State's a must in this game. If you allow Herb Sendek's team at Santa Clara to get comfortable and move the basketball and knock down threes, they'll destroy you. They've plowed through the Pac-12 this year. They've had a great season, but you've got to really defend them if you have a chance to have a chance to beat them.
They plowed through the Pac-12, but this is their 3rd game against the Mountain West, and they have yet to win a game against the Mountain West this season.
I won't say anything more.
Long two is good. So Satius making a couple of plays off the bench here in the last couple of minutes.
No, but they've beaten Oregon, they beat Washington State, and played Cal, and ran into a really tough Cal team. That was firing on all cylinders. But there's a three we talked about.
That is the 5th made three for Marshall in the game. That's a new season high. I'm going to have to check the career high for him, but he's got a new season high.
No, he's money. He's money, and and there's a really good timeout by Tim Miles. He's going to talk about this because you've got to take their best shooter and you've got to get him guarded. You're going to have to make some other guys beat you, but it's Carlos Marshall that's just knocking down shots and getting some good looks, better looks than you'd want to give him.
Yeah, 6 of 7 for Marshall from downtown. His career high is 7, so he's closing in on
that.
At
the half.
And Tim Miles talking things over right now, and we've got a timeout. We'll step aside as well. 35-31, Spartans leading it by 4 as we're closing in on the end of the half. Back here in San Jose, Dave Benz alongside Ben Braun. Good one going on between these two South Bay schools. If you don't have the ability to fly like a crow, it's actually 5.4 miles if you have to go on the ground.
Well, that's for some people that's a walk, But we talked about Santa Clara and what they've done this year. Think about this. They've won at Stanford. They beat Oregon. They beat Washington State, and they played Cal without their leading scorer and lost that game, but they could very easily be 4-0 against the Pac-12. But as you mentioned, they're struggling within a different conference now. So you just got to be ready to play. But Santa Clara is a formidable opponent, and Tim Miles and his staff, they know that. A lot of respect here.
Well, both these teams, neither one of them really coming in playing their best basketball, Coach. Santa Clara had lost 4 of 6 coming in. San Jose State had lost 4 of 5. Cardenas high off the glass with the left hand.
No, but to both teams' credit, they've also both played really good schedules. And so, you play Ohio State if you're Santa Clara, you play Utah State. That's a pretty darn good schedule. And you're gonna take some losses along the way.
Well, I know Tim Miles. I give him credit for scheduling a trip to the Bahamas in November. Ball. We're going to get a call with some contact underneath.
No, but again, we talk about schedules, and Tim Miles' team beat UC's Irvine, who's one of the top-rated mid-majors in the country, and they lose, to Texas Tech, who's having a heck of a year. So Montana, also a formidable school. They're playing good schedules, but I just love that these two teams play each other. I hope it continues with all the conference realignments. I hope they can manage to play these games in the non-conference.
Foul was on Davis, his first. That put the Spartans over the limit, so 1-1 here for Ball, and he'll get another as he gets the first to go. Ball now 43 of 48 from the free throw line this season. I'll tell you what, they needed every free throw he made down the stretch against Washington State in that Jerry Colangelo Classic on Saturday in Phoenix.
Yeah.
They opened up a huge run. How about that first half run by Santa Clara? They held Washington State over 12 minutes between made field goals in that first half. Went on a 23-1 run.
That's remarkable. That just doesn't happen very often, but shows you the quality of play.
Whistle here.
Well, I think you can see, I think both teams challenged now to really defend. These are tough teams. Both coaches, really good offensive coaches. They really predicate what they do on ball movement. You want to see two guys and two coaches just perform a clinic as coaches. You watch the ball, that never sticks. That ball's moving, and if you're a defender, it's hard to get in your defensive stance and follow the ball and give help side, get back to the ball. That's why these teams are really hard to defend.
The last foul, by the way, was on Ensminger, his second. 3 no good, rattles out. Rebound being battled for, and the Spartans finally come out of there with it. San Jose State trying to add to this 6-point lead. Cardenas, one dribble, step back 3, no. And the rebound is brought down by Brian. That ball not sticking anywhere until right now, and the spin inside, and it hangs on the rim, and then finally does fall through.
Well,
McGeldon.
Yeah, and you got to turn that. You got to turn to the help. The help's to the middle of the floor. He allowed his opponent to go baseline, and there was no help there.
Cardenas tries to feed it inside to Zhang. Instead, it's a turnover. Marshall free for 3, and he has got another triple, his 7th of this first half. That ties a career high for him in a game.
Again, transition basketball, that's when you can get open threes because you're just fighting for your life, trying to get back and set up.
23 points for Marshall.
Great job of finding open space in the transition.
But we talked about ball at the top of the show, but Marshall's like, hey, I can play a little too. Low shot clock, and the fadeaway 3 by Amy will not fall. And now the Broncos in prime position here to feel good about this first half going into the locker room. A 5-0 run. And the whistle on the foul is going to give Ball a chance to extend that run.
Actually, a pretty good foul in that you didn't want to give up a basket there.
That foul's going to go on Zhang.
Number 4, Adame Zhang.
That's his third.
Well, it's tough that you're getting up your third foul, but that was a sure 2.
Although it might be a sure 2 anyway, because this guy,
good call.
one of the best in the nation from the free throw line.
Unless he gets jinxed.
Oh, there you go.
Well,
I don't believe in the jinx, man.
I'm not going to blame you, Dave, but I had to throw that in there because there's always the jinx. Now, I refrain from saying it anymore. I'm superstitious. So.
You know what I always say? If I had that much power, I would have won Powerball a long time ago.
Exactly. Well, you know, a lot of that's from fatigue too. You even the best shooters, if you're playing at the pace that they're playing at, are going to have to shoot it while they're tired. Well, you're San Jose State. You want to come down here and you want to try to get good shots, maybe get back to the foul line, but you don't want to give up a shot in transition. You want to get the best shot you can and then get back and really get your defense set, not give up anything easy.
Under a minute to go here. Corner drills to 3. Great handoff. 2-man game there for the 3.
Well, now they got to settle in. They got to see if they can get one stop and then build on this lead. That would be a big psychological advantage to get to the halftime with a lead on Santa Clara.
Gorner, the first Spartan in double figures tonight. He's got 10. Knocked out of bounds, last touched by San Jose State. Still 18 on the shot clock.
NBA, you'd go 2 for 1.
Absolutely, I was just thinking that, Coach.
Not here. These coaches are going to play different percentages here. I think they want to get the best shot they can and go with the odds there. Yeah,
he steps out of bounds, and that's going to be a turnover by McGeldon.
Well, I had a travel or a turnover, so or a baseline.
Yeah, he pointed at the line, so I think he was calling him for stepping. But yeah, he also did a little dance there.
Might have got a little help, a little push. But you know, you're San Jose State now. The worst case scenario is you should go in the locker room with a 3-point lead, but possibly a 5 or 6-point lead. You don't want to turn it over. Well, and make sure you take the last shot.
They let some clock spin. Seixas hands it off. Cardenas feeds Seixas. Nice give and go. And how about the block by McGeldon? And the shot at the end of the half offline. But hey, McGeldon stepping up. He turned it over. He comes up with the block to negate the Spartan opportunity there at the end.
Well, I thought that was going to be a sure to, Dave, and give the defender a lot of credit for just staying with the flight of the ball. But you know, sometimes you got to take it up a little stronger. I know Tim Miles wasn't happy, and at least absorb contact and get the foul, because they could have now increased that lead to 5. But I think you'll take a 3-point lead, and the aggressiveness of San Jose State has really paid off to give them that lead.
Been a fun first half here in San Jose. And we're going to take a quick break as we've reached halftime, but what a good one going on between these two schools that are so geographically aligned. Don't go anywhere. Our halftime festivities from Provident Credit Union Arena and Event Center coming up after this quick timeout. All right, here we go. Getting ready for this second half here in San Jose. Coach, real quick, I had you give us 3 keys. I had you write them down for each team. What are you looking for the Santa Clara Broncos in this second half?
Well, we discussed it multiple times, but taking care of the basketball. San Jose State, very active with their hands, but you've got to have ball security, strong with the basketball, not televised passes, not over-penetrate, don't put the ball down on the deck. And also step up defensively. You're giving up 55% of your shots to San Jose State, so they got to take care of the ball, and they got to really just challenge up defensively. San Jose State, you mentioned it, Carlos Marshall, locate him, slow him down. You're not going to stop him, but know who he is. He's just killing you from the 3-point line. And then obviously get out there and defensive rebound if you're San Jose State. You cannot afford to give up the kind of start they had where they gave up 7 offensive rebounds early.
Marshall draws a double team.
And that's for good reason.
Cafaro gives it up for O'Neal. Shot clock down to 5. Ball with the ball in his hands. And there's a turnover. And that's exactly what Herb did not want to have happen to start this second half.
Well, these aren't steals either, Dave. You know, a lot of these are just careless turnovers. I mean, obviously against pressure defense, but you've got to just pass the ball away from the defense. And that's important. Here's the press. I was wondering when this was going to happen. This is the press by Santa Clara, 2-2-1, back to either man or zone, usually man. First time I've seen it.
Cardenas kicks it into the corner. Nice ball movement. Sets up Davis wide open for 3. Can't get it to go.
That's a good look.
That really was well set up. On the other end, Marshall a scoop, no, and the Spartans come out of there with the basketball. Amy cross court. Davis. Still plenty of time. Humer, who had 2 fouls in that first half, only played 5 minutes. Amy gets a very friendly roll.
Good to be at home, Dave. Good to know your home court. But great ball movement by San Jose State. They really took it down from side to side. Herb Sendick doesn't like what he sees to start the half. Good timeout by the veteran coach just to talk about it, just not allow San Jose State to build any type of momentum. But here you see the ball move. Look at the ball zipping around the perimeter and the friendly bounce.
First made 3 of the game for Amy, and the Spartans with a 6-point lead early in the second half. Back to San Jose after this quick timeout. San Jose State with a 6-point advantage here against the Santa Clara Broncos. And, you know, we talked before this game, Coach, that in some ways, not that this game isn't important to Tim Miles and the Spartans, because certainly it is, but in some ways, Santa Clara, this is more of a must-win game for them because, you know, Herb Sendek is thinking, hey, if we can play really well in our WCC schedule this year, we might be able to knock on the door for an at-large bid, but you can't afford a loss against a team like San Jose State, even if they are your crosstown rival.
No, I think these games all count in the end, but you're just, you know, you're playing for survival, Dave. You're out here, you're not thinking really at the end of the season now, but you are thinking about just doing your best at this point and not dropping a game you think you should be able to win, certainly with an advantage now with health-wise.
Caffaro, no. Rebounded by Davis. Didn't love the spacing early in that offensive opportunity for San Jose State, so they wind a little clock here. Cardenas. Corner, shot clock down to 5, kicks it back out. Cardenas drills the triple. Straight away, dead-eye 3.
Well, you see the threat of the ball penetration and Santa Clara jumping in the lane to help and then kicking it back out. Good way to get 3-point shots up.
Largest lead of the night for the Spartans.
You know, you mentioned it, Dave. Look at the pressure now that Marshall's getting every time he catches the ball. There is 1.5 to 2 guys on him. They are not letting him breathe as they should.
They're going to let somebody else try and beat him. And the foul there on Humer, by the way, that's his 3rd, so he's going to have to leave the floor. And you see the frustration on Humer. Well, I think he ran out of the camera shot, but he was hitting himself in the chest as he was running off. He knows that he can't afford to pick up an early foul like that. Caffaro gives it up. Napper gives it back to Caffaro. Into the corner for O'Neal. That 3 no good. Gets his own miss. And then has it rejected by Zhang. Get that shot out of here. Shot clock down under 10, and an alley-oop. How about that? Cardenas for Zhang, who throws it down with authority.
That's the same play they ran early in the first half, Dave. They ran it to perfection again. Why not?
Ball on the deck. Body's diving for it. Ends up in the hands of Napper, and he drills a 3.
Well, that's a huge possession there for Santa Clara. They lose the ball and they come back the other way, and wow, you just really have opened up a lead. Tough break for the Spartans.
Yeah, Tim Miles not happy about that turn of events, but his team still has an 8-point advantage. Davis for 3 and fires it too strong.
Not his strength, Dave. That's not his forte. He's really better at getting to the basket, and I think Tim Miles kind of going to remind him of that next opportunity.
Yeah, he immediately got Garrett Anderson off the bench and to the scorer's table. Marshall gives it up. 3 for O'Neal is good.
Well, you see how effective Santa Clara is at knocking down the 3. They're really able to stretch the floor, and San Jose State can get out and guard the 3. They're going to have to get out there again. It's not just Marshall. There's some other guys in this team that can shoot the 3.
First 3 of the night for O'Neal to fall through. 9 total made 3s now for Santa Clara. Excuse me, that was actually the 10th made 3. Cardenas trying to answer for 3, no, but Davis comes up with the offensive rebound. Amy keeps the dribble alive. Shot clock down to 5 for Cardenas. Gotta hurry, gets it away right as the shot clock expires and it falls through.
That's a tough play at the end of the shot clock. Wasn't much happening. Santa Clara playing great defense. San Jose just a little better.
Cardenas up to 9 points now tonight. Marshall has to give it up. They've not let Marshall get a three-pointer away yet in this second half. Marshall, O'Neal, shot clock winding down. Napper, corner three. How about that? Back-to-back beat the buzzer plays by the Spartans and then the Broncos.
Well, again, Santa Clara is showing you they're not one-dimensional. They've got a number of guys who can stretch the floor and knock down the three-point shot. But they're doing a much better job on Carlos Marshall, and they need to because he's been on fire, and they've subdued him in the second half.
And just a 4-point game right now here in this second half. Timeout on the floor with just over 14 minutes remaining. How fun was this? Cardenas to the Zhang arm of the law, getting it done. 4-point game here in the South Bay. Well, if you're just tuning in, these teams shorthanded here tonight in San Jose. Robert Viola out for the season tonight for the Spartans. Ryan Perry, he also got hurt over the weekend, torn Achilles, and you feel bad for that kid. He played his way from a manager with this team into a role with the team, and now he's out. Trey Anderson, they expect him to be back, but he's missing his third straight game. And Christoph Tilley, who hit a go-ahead bucket with under a minute to go just a couple of weeks ago for Santa Clara, their big guy is out tonight. He's missing his second straight game with an undisclosed injury.
Well, it's a big challenge for San Jose. I think they've taken this, and done a great job in the absence of these players, but it's a challenge. They're missing a guy that's giving them 13 and 5 a game from rebounding.
Three is a little bit too strong, rebounded by the Broncos. Well, you know this better than anybody, Coach. One guy out is another guy's opportunity.
Well, and that's what you hope. And I've been impressed, I've mentioned this, with what San Jose State's done in the absence of these players. But, you don't have time as a coach, as a player, as a teammate, to feel sorry for yourself. And there's always somebody on your team that really wants to go out there and get an opportunity. So, it's one man down. But, if you're a player, you're just saying, hey, Coach, just give me an opportunity. I'll answer the bell. And I think the guys have stepped up admirably.
Ball to the free throw line. Although, I was talking to Tim Miles at Shoot Around today, and he, with all the injuries, he said, well, you start things thinking you got a plan A, but you got to have a plan B ready. He goes, I'm kind of ready on to plan C right now.
No, and you better have a D and an E and an F, Dave. I mean, because coaching's like that. Your opponents can make you change your plan. Injuries can be part of it. Fatigue, foul trouble. So many things can change the way you go into a game. So you've got to have a lot of opportunities, be flexible, make adjustments, and live with what you do.
How about the Broncos? They've cut this thing down to a 2-point margin right now. Amy. A lot of these possessions for San Jose State in the second half have gone deep in the clock, and here's another one. Cardenas feeds it underneath for Seixas, and Seixas gets hit as he puts it up. Chance for a three-point play.
Well, I'm so impressed with Cardenas at the end of his shot clock. No panic whatsoever, and he goes up, and you can just see him getting to the rim and giving the ball up to his teammates with a chance for a three-point play, but that's just really heads-up play by the junior guard from Spain to make that play. That's twice in a row now. He's made huge plays at the end of the shot clock.
That's 7 assists now on the night for Cardenas. He came into this game 17th in the nation in total assists so far this season.
Well, you can see why. He's really, really adept at getting out there and distributing the basketball.
Ansminger hands it off. Brian. Now Tung trying to back his way in, misses with the left hand, and the rebound taken down by Amy.
Good job on the boards again by the Spartans. They got to have their guards get inside. They've done that. They've corrected the offensive rebounding problem they had.
Yeah, and the overall rebound margin, 22-18 in favor of Santa Clara. So that's a win for the Spartans as they're undersized. 3 for Anderson. That one's just a little bit short, rims off, and Ensminger will bring it up. Tongue spins on Satius. This time he does finish the bucket.
Well, again, and it's the second time it's happened, Dave. They had good help from the middle, and you're supposed to turn them to the middle where there was help there, but he allowed baseline spin. So, again, some adjustment you're going to have to make at a timeout just to really encourage your guys, force them into the help.
Next dead ball will take us to the under 12 timeout. And we're going to get a dead ball right now. Whistle going here against San Jose State, and that'll take us to the under 12 timeout. We'll step aside. A good one going on right now, though, in San Jose. Just a 3-point margin between these two schools. More to come from San Jose after this quick timeout. Well, not exactly a sellout crowd here tonight in San Jose, but those who are here are being entertained to a very competitive college basketball game.
It's been a late arriving crowd, you know, and they've gotten better, but I think that the fans have gotten their money's worth. Dave, what you see is two teams that aren't giving up an inch here. They're really playing, withstanding each other's runs. They're playing hard, really strong, aggressive basketball, but I really like the competitiveness in this game. This is an awfully competitive college basketball game, and I think it's going to favor the team that stays aggressive, because if you're not aggressive in this team, in this game, you're going to get beat. And that was something that both coaches talked about with their teams.
My own son, one of the people in attendance here tonight, and it was funny, I asked him before the game who he liked. He told me he thought one team was going to win, but I noticed he's cheering for the other team now. I'm not going to drop names, but it's an interesting how his times turn.
A fan's prerogative.
Amy picks up the dribble, unable to get it to go against the bigger Tongue, and here come the Broncos. Chance to tie it or get it back to one with a 2. We're going to get another call against Humer, and that's 4 fouls tonight on William Humer, and he's played about 7.5 minutes.
It's a bad foul.
And there's a look at it. Humer right there holding Tongue. So that's a foul that if you're Tim Miles, you can't afford Humer to make. O'Neal has heated up in the second half. Can't get that one to go. Brian tracked it down, and then it's knocked out of bounds.
Now, a tough break, because that was good defense by San Jose, but they could not secure the defensive rebound.
Brian. I wonder if Santa Clara is going to make a concerted effort here to get Marshall free for a look. He hasn't taken a shot in the second half. Instead, it's a little scoop and a finish in the paint by Brian.
Here's a 2-2-1 press again, just trying to really make San Jose State just slow down a little bit.
Back to just a 1-point game. Kicked ball there. So Spartans will inbound it with 23 still on the shot clock. Cardenas drives the lane, can't get it to go, and O'Neal clears the rebound for the Broncos. Chance to go back in front. And now it's the Spartans coming up with the basketball. Amy, feed inside for Zhang, and Zhang got hit by Marshall as he puts it up. Let's take another look here, Coach.
Yeah, I love this. Watch his ability to change directions. He was going to go up and dunk, got contested, and he just switched it to the other hand and drew the foul. Great individual play.
Well, and, you know, listen, we've seen the good and the bad with Zhang tonight, but it's been more good of late. He had that travel, and then he had the offensive foul early in the first half. But he's played well ever since.
No, and he's had 2 alley-oops. You know, I had a chance to spend some time with this young man today with Coach Strom, and he's a delightful guy. He's really he's an eager guy. His best days are ahead of him, but you can tell he's got a high ceiling.
Originally from Senegal, grew up playing soccer before he started playing basketball. He's only been playing basketball for 4 years, and another turnover by the Broncos. Anderson in the open court with the flush.
Well, again, turnovers were under control by Santa Clara. They're not, again, they're becoming a problem.
O'Neal. Marshall gives it up. And Bryant can't get it to go. Rebound pulled down by the Spartans, looking to add to their lead. Suddenly all the momentum back on San Jose's side. Cardenas from the left box can't get it to go, and knocked out of bounds, last touched by San Jose. Coach, if you're Herb Sendek, do you try and run a play just to get a look from Marshall? Because he has not been able to get a three-point shot yet in this second half.
Well,
that's 7 of 8 in the first half.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, you can run plays a lot of times for big guys, but guards, when you're getting double-teamed, you're getting doubled off the catch, it's pretty hard. You're going to have to use him, hopefully get some other guys like to get open. You'd have to take what the defense gives you. You can see that Marshall, you know, he gave up an opportunity there, and he's pressing a little bit. So I'm not sure you want to keep pushing the envelope there. I think you got to make sure some other guys, if they're doubling him, get some wide open looks. They've got plenty of players that can step up and make plays.
Yeah, he finally did get that look there, but unable to drop it down. Zhang picked up the dribble, and that's going to be a travel. Zhang picked up the dribble before he knew what he was going to do with the basketball. That'll get you in trouble a lot.
Well, and he also released the ball. You keep 2 hands on the ball, and you won't turn it over. I think it's going to be a one-hand pass.
Marshall corner 3. That one falls, and that's a new career high for him.
He heard you, Dave. You said, look, I'll just get my own. I don't need anybody to run a play for me.
He's tied his career high with points, by the way, with 27. His 8th make from downtown. Anderson looking to answer, and it won't fall. Marshall with the rebound.
Well, Young had a chance to put the ball in for a layup. It was very unselfish.
Ball finds Tongue underneath, and it's back to a one-point game. Great vision by Adamo Alpha Ball.
And he's been quiet. He's been very quiet this game, but he stepped up there. San Jose's done a great job on him.
Dangerous pass there is taken away. Gorner was trying to feed Zhang. Instead, it's a turnover for the Spartans. And now Ball will feed Marshall, and Marshall, that is 9 made threes in the game for Marshall.
Again, in transition, very hard to locate in transition.
And he's just tied the all-time school record for Santa Clara for made threes in a game with 9. Kevin Foster owns a tie now of that record. He made 9 against Air Force back in 2011. Cardenas with the 3. And suddenly the 3 balls are falling here in San Jose.
Well, you can't trade baskets. You know, as a coach, you say, guys, we need stops, because when you get stops, as San Jose State was doing, they were building themselves a lead.
O'Neal couldn't handle it underneath. Here come the Spartans off the turnover. Corner 3, and he stepped out of bounds. He drifted a little bit too much, caught that sideline, and that'll be a turnover on San Jose State, and that's going to take us to the under 8 media timeout. Wow, what a game this has been. Nip and tuck between these two teams, and just 1 point right now separating the Spartans and the Broncos. We'll step aside, back to San Jose in just a moment. Back here in San Jose, Coach, you noticed something earlier in the game about the way Tim Miles handles his timeouts and handles his huddle. What did you notice?
Well, it's very interesting because sometimes he'll jump in the huddle first, and then other times, as he did this timeout, he'll let Jeff Strom talk about the defense. And that's really a good move because you get fired up. You want a little steam to roll off. Now, he's still giving it to his guys pretty good, but, you know, he wants to come in at the end and be the closer, the enforcer, and it's his message, his voice. It's obviously going to be the loudest, but I like the way he steps back, lets his assistant step into the huddle, and then comes back with the final message. And I think, you know, you watch these teams step on the floor after timeouts, it's amazing how they react. They generally run plays pretty well. They go out there and get stops. So, you know, they remember the last thing you say to them as a coach, and I think it's a very effective way to do that. And I think, you know, as well, Herb Sendek's done that with his staff, but you want to just make sure that your players hear different voices, whoever's got the scout, whoever's coaching the defense, and then you put the timeout together and then you execute it on the floor.
Well, out of the timeout, Santa Clara a chance to try to go back in front.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you that Marshall's name came up in that last huddle.
Yeah.
I promise you that. And there's the offensive foul.
Yeah, they're going to get tongue, illegal screen trying to free Marshall.
Well, and that's, again, I think a credit to San Jose State and possibly the timeout because he said, look, stay attached. Stay attached. If you stay attached to your player, don't cheat the screen, you may get the offensive foul, and that's exactly what happened.
Third foul of the game on Tongue. Fourth foul of the half on Santa Clara. Cardenas kicks it off to the right wing, and MJ Amy buries the triple.
He's money, and he's letting you know it too. He's got his three up there, and you know that's not his strength all the time, but he's really looking good.
O'Neal feeds Tongue underneath, and he's got a chance for the old school three-point play.
Well, he's a tough player. You know, he just knows how to move without the basketball. He really has given his team a lot of tough baskets this year. But you see the ball movement. He cuts without the ball and he was able to get free to the basket. Really, basket cuts are one of the hardest things to guard in basketball because as a defender, you can't see the ball and your man if your man is constantly cutting the ball to the basket.
Cameron Tongue, one of the few guys with any tenure with the Santa Clara Broncos. It's his third season with the team. They've had so much turnover under Herb Sendek. And really, I mean, that's college basketball as a whole, not just Santa Clara these days.
Well, good point. And so you're talking about a team that has had turnover, but look what Herb Sendek has done with new players and young players. They've played awfully well. They lost a ton. Brandon Bajemski, you talked about his loss, and I mean, he was a big-time player for him last year. They had some seniors on that team, but they're stepping right back into the fray, and they're playing aggressively and playing confidently.
Humor for Cardenas. San Jose State trying to cling to this lead here against the Broncos. Humor underneath. Kicks it out. Open look. Cardenas too strong. Davis sneaks in for an offensive rebound. No whistle as he took a little bit of contact, and now they finally will get a call as Humor got hit as he goes back up with it. And how about that, Coach? 2 offensive rebounds on 1 possession for San Jose State.
Well, they missed some layups point blank. And if you look on the floor right now, it's San Jose State that has quite a height advantage over Santa Clara, and they're just taking advantage of that. They're playing volleyball up there. They had 3 looks before they finally got the foul call.
Foul was on Tongue. That's 4 on him now.
That's crucial.
So you've got both Tongue and Humor playing right now with 4 fouls. And Tongue is going to check out. They're going to get Caffaro back on. Francisco Caffaro, the Argentinian, actually played on the Argentina Olympic team. This guy's got a lot of international experience.
You can see it, Dave.
And Humor able to make some hay at the free throw line, gets it back to a 3-point lead. O'Neal. Ball knocked free. Who's going to come up with it? We'll get a loose ball foul going against Santa Clara.
Again, penetration, deflection, loose ball, San Jose State on the.
And credit MJ Amy. He's the one who got the hand on it to knock it free.
Their hands are just, they talked about that ad nauseum. today in there. I was at the film session today earlier, and they just really worked on Jeff Strom and the staff, and Tim Miles just went over the film over and over about how they just have to go up there and disrupt with their hands. And I got to tell you, their hands are in passing lanes, ball handling lanes. They're everywhere.
They've forced 14 turnovers here tonight. They've turned them into 21 points. Gorner puts it on the deck and finishes. That thing was coming off the rails, it looked like, but he righted it pretty quickly. Marshall, an open look. No, it was not an open look. Amy came over and closed the door out of the blue. In transition, Davis between a couple defenders, and he's got a chance to go to the free throw line.
Well, I like not only the defensive possession, Dave, and the challenge shot, but you can see there's just no breathing room. That's a challenge. There's a block shot, and watch how quickly San Jose State comes back down. And I like the decision to hold the ball and attack the rim. That's exactly what you want to do.
Second block tonight for San Jose State as a team. First of the game for Amy. And now Davis at the free throw line knocks down the first. Mentioned I spent some time with Latrell Davis at shoot-around today. I said, Latrell, there's pretty much no information about you biographically on the San Jose State website. What's your story? He said, grew up in the UK, loved basketball, knew from age 3 he wanted to play basketball.
Wow.
He became a big KD fan playing NBA 2K10, and then he got to meet KD when the Oklahoma City Thunder went and played a game in Manchester, and ever since he's been a big KD fan. O'Neal's too strong, rebound pulled down by Amy, who's doing it all tonight.
Well, if you didn't know it by now, I'm sure everybody knows it. Basketball's now an international game.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows it. They follow it. You can get games everywhere.
Davis gets blocked by Brian. Scoop pass by Marshall. Brian. And it's going to be a and one opportunity here. Did they call it on Humor? It is on Humor, and Humor's done. That's 5. William Humor has fouled out of this one.
I really like what Tyree Bryan has done for Santa Clara. He's given them some big baskets. He's just been there. He's absorbed some contact. And you know, he's just given them what they needed at the time they needed it.
15 fouls, Spartans. Number 1, Tyree Bryan. Shoots 1.
Looking to finish the three-point play. Unable to do so, so the Spartans clinging to a 5-point lead here as we close in on 4 minutes to go. Cardenas gets it over to Amy. Amy gets a step, can't get a finish, and we're going to get a foul underneath, and they're going to call it on Cafaro.
In the bonus.
Actually, I thought it was going to be on Cafaro. They're going down on O'Neal instead. And that's going to take us to the under 4 timeout. So San Jose State will have the basketball. No bonus situation. Excuse me, Santa Clara is over the limit now. So will be free throws 1 and 1 on the other side of the timeout. And the Spartans will have a chance to add to this lead. We'll take one final break. Don't go anywhere. This one going down to the wire. Well, San Jose State's next game is not for 13 more days. They'll have a break before they start conference play at Wyoming on January 2nd. Then back here for a couple against Boise State and San Diego State before going back out on the road. And, you know, I talked to some of the guys at shoot-around today. I said, you got to be looking forward to that break. And they're like, break? What break? Coach wants us back here December 26th for our practice.
Yeah, no, come on. You know, you got to know that. I don't remember getting many days off. And you know, the players got days off. The coaches didn't because they're always scouting. They're looking at their next game. They're looking at about 7 or 8 games that team played. But you know, we've really been impressed. I've been impressed, Dave, with what both teams have done here tonight. I mean, you know, being shorthanded and battling. I mean, neither team is giving up the yard here. They're just playing aggressively. If you're Santa Clara now, you've got to come back down and you're going to try to get back in a rhythm. Marshall's been your go-to guy, but San Jose State has really stepped up this half and pretty much shut him down. So they're going to have to find some scoring in some other avenues to get some points on the board.
1-1 for Zhang and 38% at the line. Probably not a guy you wanted to have to sit through a timeout before he was going to go to the line to shoot the 1-1.
No, but his value is greater than free throws. He's been a guy that's really affected and changed shots this game.
Marshall. The escape dribble behind the back, can't get it to go, and last touched by Santa Clara.
Well, that didn't miss by much, but again, trying to create his own shot now, not the same as the shots he was getting and the looks he was getting in the first half.
They were in the flow of the offense.
Absolutely.
And you don't see a lot of guys do a behind-the-back escape dribble. That's what that was.
No, it was a good move, but that was, in the end, a challenge shot.
Cardenas for Zhang. He may not make a lot of free throws, but he's sure high percentage at the rim.
That's number 3 for slam dunks, alley-oops, up high.
Another dime for Cardenas, by the way. He's got 9 in the game. Ball left alone, and he'll take advantage.
Well, you got to really make sure your closeouts are shorter. They talked about that again. Long closeouts are really difficult because if you're a defender, you're going to get driven if you're running a long way. Now you're San Jose State. You want to try to get some space on the floor and allow their penetrators to get to the rim.
Cardenas was looking for another dime. Can't get it that time. 10 is his career high. The next one will get him there. Instead, it's Santa Clara with the basketball back. Down 5. They find Tung all alone, sitting in the dunker spot. He'll lay it in.
Well, again, the danger of guarding Marshall, you've got 2 guys trying to stop him, and you're giving up the rim. Now you're San Jose State, and they're going to use a timeout. Good call by Tim Miles just to settle his troops down, talk about exactly what he wants offensively, and then also use this as a defensive timeout to talk about what you want to do on the other end.
1 possession game with 2 minutes to go, Coach. What more would you want between these 2 schools that are just 4 miles from each other?
No, it's a great basketball game, and you kind of get the feeling, Dave, that whoever has the ball last is going to win, but you want to make sure that you don't allow your opponent to have the last shot if it's a tie game or 1 down. You know, if you're San Jose State, you want to build on this lead. So how do you do that? You need a good look right now. You don't mind getting to the foul line. You don't want to turn over. You don't want an ill-advised shot, but you want a high percentage look. And then at the very least, you're 3 points up. Now you come down and you defend. San Jose State's in a good position if they can get a good look offensively and then come down and play solid defense.
Corner for Cardenas.
1-3-1 zone by Santa Clara out of the timeout.
Cardenas for Amy. Shot clock down to 7. Cardenas to the free throw line. Amy sees an opening, can't get it to go. Big stop for the Broncos.
That was down and under.
Ball drives and finishes, and we talked about Ball, how dangerous he can be.
Well, he's been quiet, but no longer. He's now hit 2 big baskets. 1-3-1. Good look by Santa Clara.
Do the Spartans have an answer? Clinging to a 1-point lead. Davis finds Satius underneath.
Nice job of going to the short corner. Really, the one area that the defense can't recover. They only have 1 guy along the baseline there.
Open look for 3 for O'Neal, and he drills it, and we're tied with a minute to go. What a game.
Or they're going to look at this again, either the shot clock or the indication, was it a 2 or a 3?
I think that's what they're looking at, Coach. They were nowhere near a shot clock violation, so if they're stopping it, they got to be looking 2 or 3.
Well, the scorer only put down 2, I think. Let me see.
From our angle, it looked like a 3. Let's take a look.
Greg Nixon's here, veteran official.
I mean, you don't definitively see the feet in that shot, but from where his feet were, there's a look. I mean, both feet clearly seem to be out behind the line.
The official's right on it. Now again, you're San Jose State. You're not going to go against the 1-3-1. It's Santa Clara going back to the man-to-man for this possession.
Davis for Gorner. Amy. And how about Ball? He's the one who caused Amy to possibly give it up. But they're going to call kicked ball. Wow.
That's a great possession defensively. If you're Santa Clara, they really locked in. This is one of their better possessions, and for good reason. The game's on the line, but they're moving their feet, getting their hands on the ball. Now it's going to be a shorter clock for San Jose State.
Seixas hands it off for Cardenas. Back to Cardenas, drives into the paint, the kick back, and the bucket won't go, but a trip to the free throw line for MJ Amy.
You know, this, when in doubt, you go to your go-to players, Dave, and MJ Amy's been that guy. His teammates know it. They've put the ball in his hands late, and he's just circled back in and drew contact, the defender moving, was not set, and now 2 free throws with the chance to take the lead with just under 30 seconds to play.
Amy has not been to the free throw line tonight. 69% on the season, but he knocks down the first right there.
Well, you'd like to knock down the second one, make it a 2-point game, but if you're Santa Clara, you've got weapons. You can get the quick 2, which they've done on the previous couple of possessions, or they can definitely knock down threes. They've been shooting at a high rate from the 3-point line.
Amy hits them both, so back to a 2-point lead for the Broncos.
Well, you're one stop. If you get a stop, now you got to play the foul game, but they need to stop.
Ball guarded by Jean, gets it to Marshall. Amy all over Marshall. He'll force up a 3, and it rattles out, and a long rebound into the hands of Jean. And they quickly foul Jean, and that's the guy you do want to foul.
And Tim Miles was begging his big fella to give it up. You know, it was good that he had the ball and he was playing ball security with it, but he had an opportunity to throw that ball into a better free throws hands. And again, that just will come with time. You want to encourage your young guy. He did the right thing by getting the rebound, and he protected the basketball. Another good thing. But then when he had the chance, you've got to give that up to a better free throw shooter.
Well, there's no question he's been a net positive here tonight.
Well, no doubt.
But just 9 of 25 from the free throw line on the season, including 0 for 1 tonight.
But he has a chance here just again.
He does have 2, though. There's a double bonus, so he's got 2.
And psychologically, you always seem to shoot better if you know you've got 2.
Oh, rattles out, so no matter what happens here, Santa Clara will have a chance. It will still be just a 1-possession game.
Well, you'll talk about this now, make or miss. Certainly if you make, do you foul Santa Clara and not give them the 3-point shot? If they miss, now you just got to play straight-up defense.
It's funny you should bring that up because I talked to Tim Miles about that earlier this season, and he told me with this group of guys, he's going to be awfully hesitant to foul up 3 because he doesn't love his team's ability to get a rebound off of a missed free throw. Whether or not he'll feel differently in the moment, who knows? And I'm sure he's talking to his guys about that right now.
Well, and you've got, again, Zhang that might get that rebound for you, and then they could foul him again. So we'll see. There's so many things that can happen. I think first order of business, you try to make the free throw, and then you've got 12 seconds. That's a lot of time for Santa Clara to come down and get a shot. But, you know, if you told me before the game I have a chance to win this game by defending the last 10 to 12 seconds of the game and secure a rebound, I'd stay with those odds.
So Cameron Tongue trying to get it to a 3-point game. A Drame Jean trying to get it to a 3-point game. Cameron Tongue fouled out with the foul that sent him to the free throw line. How about that? He knocks it down. So 3-point game. Let's see what Tim Miles does.
Well, let's see what Herb Sendek does. You might be able to get a quick 2 as well.
And you do have a timeout left as well.
Absolutely.
You could potentially get it across midcourt and call a timeout.
Well, let's see. Most teams aren't going to foul, so you can sometimes just get to the rim. Let's see where they go with it.
Ball. Gets inside, goes for the quick 2, and he gets it to go with 5 seconds.
And that's a smart play. Dave, a lot of people say, well, why not the 3? Because you are driving the ball. You have a chance to either stop the clock or get a 2 with the other team not wanting to foul you. And now you may get a steal, but more likely you're going to see a foul. and you're going to make San Jose have to make some free throws.
The big difference, though, is if this were the NBA, 5 seconds last a lot longer because you can advance the basketball out of the timeout. And college basketball, you still got to go the full length.
But don't think that rule's not coming to college basketball. I believe it will be. But for now, and for our viewers, no, we're got to go the length. But if you're Santa Clara, you'll probably try to get a denial. You'll see if you can get a 5 count, or you'll say, look, there's 5 seconds to go. Let's just play the foul game, which you can't afford to have happen is the ball to get in and get advanced, and now there's no time. You've got to take 5 seconds is enough time to stop the clock, see if the team, if San Jose State will make both free throws. You still got a chance, even if they make both, you can advance for 3. But if they only make one of the 2, you still can come back and tie or win the game.
Well, and if you're Tim Miles, the perfect world situation here would be obviously get enough time to go off where there's only like a second left, and then you have your guy make the first and miss the second.
Well, I always like to throw the ball a little bit away from your own basket. I you know what? I always didn't like to see the ball inbounded right underneath the basket, but you're going to see now that there's going to be a lot of defensive pressure here.
Yeah, they'll try to get the steal first and foremost. If the Broncos can force a steal.
Nobody on the ball, Dave, which means they're going to double team the offensive players, see if they can get a
corner
time.
Gets it into Cardenas, and Cardenas is quickly fouled. 1.3 went off the clock.
Well, again, good play by Santa Clara. You can't afford now to trap. Even if you trap there and the pass gets out of the trap, ball game over. So smart play by Santa Clara, forcing a stoppage of play, almost 4 seconds to go.
Cardenas hasn't been to the free throw line tonight. 24-32 for 75% on the season. And none bigger than these two. And nails the first. See what Herb Sendek does here. Cardenas makes the second three-point game, and again,
and Tim
what's
Miles
Miles going to do?
Yeah, subbing Miles in. They want a smaller guard, and again, I don't want to give up too much time to go down the floor. Let him shoot, but you may foul here too because you're only up this 3. Let's see where they're going with it.
Ball takes a deep 3 as time expires, leaves it short, and that's all she wrote. The San Jose State Spartans win the crosstown battle against Santa Clara. Wow, what a game.
Dave, this was a fantastic college basketball game. It's what the game is all about. You saw two teams emotionally, respectfully going at each other. These teams have a lot of respect for each other. Coaches for coaches, players hugging each other. You want to see that in college basketball. I hope this series continues for a long time, but in the end, you must give San Jose credit. They came out here and played one whale of a game to defeat a very, very talented Santa Clara basketball team.
And they get that bad taste of that loss to Montana out of their mouths before going into the holiday break. You know, everybody wearing a San Jose State uniform is loving that here tonight. What a big win for Tim Miles, and what a great game to watch if you're a college basketball fan here in San Jose State. And I guess are we getting Tim over here? Tim Miles going to get him on the headset?
I'll give up mine.
I think we're taking a quick break, and then we're going to come back. We'll see if we can get Tim over here for a post-game interview. Oh, we're keeping it here. All right, I'm told by Matt Taylor, our producer extraordinaire, we're keeping it here.
No.
So yeah, so you're jumping off. Tim is coming in. Tim's taking the headset away. We'll bring you back though. We're not going to let Ben just go away that easy. But 81-78 the final here tonight for San Jose State. And Tim's got to feel pretty good about that one, beating Herb Sendek in a game that really meant a lot for San Jose State to win the bragging rights here in the South Bay on their home floor. And Tim putting on the headset now and joining me here courtside. Okay, I don't think you're going to want NBC Sports Bay Area to not broadcast any more games
right,
this season because you're 2-0.
I think it's Ben Braun, too. I mean, you and Ben Braun are the guys. So
I
don't
know how Mark Spears is going to feel about that. But, Coach, this is, listen, you're undermanned. They had Tilly out, obviously, as well. That's a big guy for Herb Sendek. But you're down 3 rotation guys in a game that, might mean a little bit more to the guys on your team because these are guys that you see around town on a regular basis.
We play together all summer,
Yeah.
And Marshall cooked us all summer too. So it's like, guys, this is not a surprise. We've seen what this guy can do. I'm happy with our guys. I thought we had very good offensive pace. And I really liked the way we were passing the ball. We had 11 assists at halftime. There was a lot of very good things. And it got more of a grind in the second half. But defensively, for being an undermanned team, we had some mismatches and we had some good fortune. And when I thought they'd hurt us inside, but they got us with rebounding early, right? They got 5 offensive rebounds in the first 6 or 7 minutes of the game, 7 in the first half. And they still made 8 threes, right? And I'm like, you can't give up both. like can't get killed inside and let them make threes. And then they kept making threes, and we did a better job inside the second half, better job on the glass. And I'm happy for the kids because this means a lot when you walk around town, like you say. You want to have your chest high and your head high. And we've just had some bad fortune. We lost a couple games where we had the last defensive possession with the lead and lost them both in overtime. We had some injuries, so what a great way to go into Christmas for the Spartans.
No doubt. And you talked about Marshall. You mentioned the 8 threes in the first half. 7 were by Marshall. The guy couldn't miss. And what did you tell your guys at halftime? Because they held him to only 6 attempts in the second half. He was 2 of 6.
What do you say? I mean,
of course,
you know what we
know
said.
Where 22 is, guys.
Yeah, exactly. It's not rocket science. Get to him. That's what I said in no uncertain terms. But, he's a tough player. He did a lot of crafty things too. We post doubled and he kind of ghosted over on a nice cut and lost us. He had another play where he just kind of went one way, came back the other on a play, and he's a crafty kid and he's a good player. And boy, he gets in his hands. I think they're all going in. He and Ball both. So, but let's talk about those Spartans, man. We had a good night.
I want to talk about 2 guys in particular. I mean, MJ Amy had a great game. You could talk about him every game. But how about Cardenas? I mean, Alvaro Cardenas, 10 assists again tonight, ties his career high. Yeah. And he just seems like he always knows what to do with the basketball, making good decisions.
Yeah, and he's just our heart and soul. He's such a great leader. And he does half the coaching because whatever, there's a mistake out there, he's already into a guy, talking to him. By the time I get there, he's already made every point better than I could, And when you've got a coach on the floor like that, it really helps you. He didn't shoot it that great tonight, but to find a way to get to 14, make clutch free throws at the end, and then those 10 assists, obvious. A lot of fun to watch.
And you got 1 clutch free throw out of Adrame Zhang. But and I want to talk about his night because, you get Humor, picks up 2 fouls in about 2 seconds to start the game. And you get Zhang in, and then he goes and gets an offensive foul in a walk and gives up the basketball. And you're like, oh, but he really righted the ship, and he played big for you tonight.
Yeah, we needed him. And we need that length and athleticism. And with our stuff, when we can get that roll man going to the hoop, throw those lobs up, it really creates everything else, the three-point shooting, everything else that goes with your offense.
And last thing, before I let you go enjoy this one with your team, on a personal note, how nice was this? Not only because of the bragging rights, but I know your son Gabe was here tonight.
Yeah, we're in Spartan
from North Dakota State.
Yeah.
So that's got to be nice to
and my daughter graduated from SJSU yesterday, so it was a big couple days for the family. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah, well, congratulations. Enjoy your holiday, and what a win.
Yeah, happy holidays to everybody. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Tim Miles, just a great night for the San Jose State head coach here as he gets the victory over his crosstown rivals. Again, look at the finals numbers here, 81-78. And really, you look at what they did, that job on Marshall in that second half. And I didn't talk as Ben Braun comes back on with us here. I didn't talk to Coach about MJ Amy because he's got a big night almost every night. So let's talk about MJ Amy. I thought one of the best plays he made tonight was coming over and getting that block from Marshall on his three-point attempt midway through the second half, kind of setting a tone.
Well, not only did he do that, and you're right, that was a huge play, but along with his 19 points, he almost goes for a double-double. He gets 9 rebounds, and that's pretty good for a guy his size. And a gamer's a gamer. I really like MJ Amy. He's not afraid to make plays for his team, so you want guys that aren't afraid of the moment. And I thought he was in the moment. You could tell he wanted the ball in his hands. You could tell he wanted to guard the other team's best player. And that's what good players do. They're prime-time players, and he got it done tonight for his squad.
So San Jose State feeling good about the way they finished off the non-conference portion of the schedule. 5-1 at home, 7-6 overall, and that's the block we were talking about right there out of Amy. Spartans came to play here tonight, and they put it on the Broncos. There's no question.
No, great win for San Jose State. That's going to be a big win as the season gets going. They're going to be off for a while. And Herb Sendik's got to get his players back. Obviously, Tilly's going to come back for him. He's not going to be out for much longer, but that's a big piece for his team. Hard to build when you've just got injuries, but he's had a good non-conference season so far, and he's going to be a formidable opponent when he gets in the WCC. Don't feel sorry for the Santa Clara Broncos, but they ran into a really, really inspired basketball team in San Jose State tonight.
Yeah, well, at least they don't have to fly very far to get home for this one tonight. So once again, our final 81-78, been a whole lot of fun. Thanks for joining us here on NBC Sports Bay Area or wherever you've been watching. For Coach Ben Braun and our producer Matt Taylor back in the truck, and all the great people who made this happen behind the scenes here tonight in San Jose. I'm Dave Benz saying so long. Thanks for watching as the Spartans win 81-78. Have a great holiday season, everybody.